Okay, what did we learn here? Chelsea 0, Manchester City 2 in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge in our first game of the 24-25 domestic season. And I'm going to be honest off the bat, although I didn't necessarily expect a worse scoreline, I absolutely expected a worse performance. And I don't want to be like super negative. I just think this is where we are at the moment, you know, a whole new... not a whole new squad, but loads of new players, a whole new style of playing ripped up from the previous style, you know, just really not settled into everything yet. And it's Pep Guardiola's Man City. Yeah, no, fresh off winning the Community Shield. Even without Rodri, they're just an incredible team, well drilled, and they put in a professional performance today, and I'm going to talk about it. But ultimately, for me, the headline is two teams played quite well in their own way. And the difference was, on both sides, for me, the difference was an absolutely elite centre-forward doing elite centre-forward play with a great goal. That was probably low XG value in terms of how he was coming up against Cucurella. And Rob Sanchez getting to a Kovacic goal that he probably should have saved. And, you know, you can criticise every goal scored in the world, but... difference, a striker and a goalkeeper making the difference on each side. We're going to get into it today, guys. We're going to talk about the player performances, negatives and positives as well, bro, because, you know, there is positives. A 2-0 loss at home, you might be thinking, wow, how the mighty has fallen, but you just got to be a big boy about it. Do you know what I mean? And think about where we are, what we're coming off, what did you expect from this game, and what did you see in this game? Alright, so yeah, we're going to get into it. Thank you for joining me as always. Thank you so much for your continued support here on the channel, Football Therapy. If you dig the content, if you like it, drop a like on the video. If you want to subscribe, ensure that you hit the bell and you'll get notified. Alright, so it was a strong lineup. There's a few players missing still. A few players maybe not up to full fitness, and I feel like that was demonstrated somewhat in this game, comparatively to Man City. I think Man City just know what they're doing a lot more, which sort of helps them, right? I'm going to use SofaScore for reference here to look at how we lined up. Firstly, as you can see there centrally, that's the Manchester City. A lot of green on the SofaScore ratings. Rico Lewis playing right back but inverting into midfield. And that's what we thought we were going to see from Enzo Maresca in this game. I think we saw a little bit more of a conventional positioning. We'll look at the heat maps in just a moment. But yeah, really good performances. I wouldn't read too much into the ratings so much because I thought Rico Lewis was actually quite good and he's got by far the lowest rating here. So Chelsea lined up with Rob Sanchez in goal as expected. We thought he was going to be the starting goalkeeper for the season as proven. Apart from the second goal, I'm not going to critique him on the first goal. I think he was okay. Again, I'm giving him a chance. Cucurella comes in at left back. Obviously, sadly, came off injured. Hopefully not too serious. Look, man, despite conceding 2 goals, Levi Colwill and Wesley Fofana is what Chelsea are investing the stocks in. And this is what I've been calling for a long time. Everyone will have their own opinions. I think they are the 2 centre-backs at Chelsea with the highest ceilings. Now, that doesn't mean they've recognised their ceilings now or even any time immediately soon, but these guys can be amazing. We know Levi Colwill was touted, loads. Bayern Munich, Liverpool wanted him. Wesley Fofana, I think he's, they wanted a world record fee for him as a defender because of his potential to be so good. Good ball player, aggressive defender, intelligent, good progressor with the ball. And I feel like the most notable thing, and Gary Neville, for all his faults, spoke about this on the Sky Sports commentary, it's a fast backline. Of course, before we had Thiago Silva, 39 years old, for as amazing as he was and calm, our recovery pace, we couldn't play, even though we're not playing a high line, as Maresca says, the recovery pace is, the capacity to recover was a lot less, and therefore a deep Thiago Silva means you have a deep line, which means you're often playing forwards onside. This makes Chelsea better. Cucurella, Colwill, Fofana, and Gusto. Gusto's been a little bit done dirty with the rating here. There is a fast line to recover. And then we saw, it says Enzo Fernandez in the 10 there, we're going to look at it a little bit, but it was kind of like a 4-3-3. and a conventional free of Nkunku, rather frustratingly for me, playing a lot more on the left. I think he was one of our better players in this game, but I want to see him on the inside. Of course, he was substituted for Pedro Neto, and that was probably a fatigue thing, but I would like to see them play together. Now, let's look at some heat maps, guys, to try and figure out what's going on here. Look, Cucurella, this is why it's interesting. Look at that heat map. He's not inverting into midfield, and he's not tucking in to make a back three. Now, let's look at Gusto. And look at Gusto. He is a conventional right back. So this is not Maresca ball as we know it. And they said that on the commentary. I recognised it as well. It was Cucurella playing left back in a back four and Malo Gusto playing right back in a back four. And Caicedo sort of playing kind of all over the gaff there in midfield. Romeo Lavia, as you can see here, playing also all over the gaff. And the final midfielder, let's have a look here, Fernandez, playing as a sort of left central midfielder. So it kind of was, there was no number 10. It was a conventional 4-3-3 formation. So you see Enzo here, drop him into the midfield. It's maybe over to the left. 4-3-3 with Cole Palmer on the right and Nkunku on the left with Jackson up top. On that, I think the tactics were fine because actually in a lot of the game we look good. We'll talk about the goals, we'll talk about performances, and we'll talk about the stats. But I think the tactical setup, considering where Man City is and where we are, I don't think it was that bad. It's very... the initial optics of trying to like sexy up a 2-0 loss at home is very difficult. But if you've watched the game, you'll know, at my halftime Instagram live that I always do, every Chelsea game I do a halftime live show at Football Yannick on Instagram. If you want to follow me, at Football Yannick, as in spelt like this. At Football Yannick, there you go. You can see on the middle right there. I'm no longer on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, but yes, on Instagram. We spoke about it. And there was a lot of positivity in the halftime chat. There were some people questioning Nico Jackson's decision-making, but he was still in the right place at the right time, which is a lot of players just simply aren't, guys. We're going to talk about the Raheem Sterling situation. Of course, he released a statement in a conventional Chelsea news video, so we'll do that tomorrow morning. We'll talk about it then. We're talking about the football now. And then Enzo Fernandez was catching heat. He made some poor touches. Obviously, it was a bit poor in the box. I'm going to speak about the penalty incidents in just a moment. But the thing that frustrated me the most, maybe with this setup here, is the fact how Cole Palmer, as you can see here, right wing, very, very rarely went inside. Christopher Nkunku, very left wing. And he doesn't want to play left wing. He said it himself. He wants to play centrally. We as Chelsea fans in pre-season have praised Christopher Nkunku for playing here. Not as a striker, but maybe here. Not right on the touchline. He doesn't want to be doing that. So, for me, yeah, maybe it was like you have to do it just because of how we're going to set up to try and nullify City. Fine. I'm okay with that, but that's not what I want to be seeing long term for this. So look, let's look at possession here. This will make you feel confused. As you can see, possession pretty much even, 48 to Chelsea. Chelsea, despite losing 2-0, had a 0.4 more expected goals than Manchester City. We had 10 shots to their 11, same with more corners than them. Look, this is just telling, isn't it? Goalkeeper saves was 3 apiece. A few more fouls than them, a few more tackles. So really, really even, guys. Really even on shots, even on big chances. We just edge it on corner kicks. And then that is significant. We're like 33% higher on expected goals than Man City is. And that goes back to what I'm saying. This is the difference. The difference is Haaland just scoring an absolute... I'd love to see what Haaland's expected goal... I don't know if it will show you what his... I don't know if you can see what his expected goal is. But yeah, in the... When was it? It was in the 18th minute. We started really, really wobbly. It was like they're playing a different sport. We looked a bit better, but then Haaland pulls out that goal. Cucurella is sort of guarding him on the inside. Cucurella's done the right thing. But it's the way Haaland uses his body, uses his left foot, hooks it to the far post from where he's standing. It's a great centre-forward goal. I'm not having a go at Sanchez for that. Now, the Kovacic goal later on, yeah, a few people let him get free in the midfield. I think Rob Sanchez should save it. He's got all the sighting in the world. He knows Kovacic is going to shoot, and he dives the right way because he knows it's going to happen. It's a weak hand. It's a weak hand from Rob Sanchez. I'm not going to dig him out too much. It's the first goal, I've got no issue with him. The second one, I do take issue. But he did also make a great save, and he had a couple of good moments as well. You know, early doors. Let's not lose our minds over this. You know, I'm giving him, not a pass, but I'm giving him like a decent chance here. And substitutions, we saw Dewsbury Hall, we saw come on for Lavia, we saw Gu come on for Nico, we saw Pedro Neto come on for Nkunku, and Cucurella came off injured, hopefully precautionary for a very, you know, good replacement of Renato Vega in terms of player profile, right? I think so. So player performances, although Sanchez I think he needs to do better, but he's Man City, first game of the season. Everyone's settling in. There's a certain element of grace. I think Cucurella was very good. Cucurella, looking at him now, yeah, he won 5 out of 7 ground duels, which is like pretty darn dominant. He won 3 fouls. And he's 89% pass accuracy. He didn't complete any of his crosses or his long balls, so he can do better than that. Malo Gusto, he didn't actually get that good a rating on SofaScore. He lost the majority of his ground duels. He only won 5 out of 11. He's way more aggressive than Cucurella in terms of moving forwards, though. Still a strong passing accuracy, nearly 90%. Again, he completed 0 of his 4 crosses. He did complete a dribble, though, so a lot of failed crossing from Chelsea. That's something that we clearly need to sort out. The recipients and indeed the passers. I think Wesley Fofana and, Colwill are good players. They were okay here. They will, again, look at Gabriel and Saliba at Arsenal. It took time to make a partnership. I'm investing stocks in these 2 young defenders for Chelsea. Maybe we see a bit of Tosin every now and again, but I feel like Maresca sees these guys, a young, talented right footer, a young, talented left footer, different profiles, work together, learn each other, and then learn how to defend together. For me, that's the, big investment. Again, Alex Goldberg on his social media was speaking about how he's happy that Enzo Maresca isn't drip feeding his philosophy in and seeing like, okay, you were really different with Poch last season. Let's make this slow. He's gone, no, ripped up, go, make mistakes, start again because we're going my way and we're going to build up as quickly as possible. Rip the band-aid off, as they say. And I kind of like that. So he's like, right, these 2 are going to be long-term successes, the long-term defensive partnership. Let's just get them going now. They'll make mistakes. Let them go. Moises Caicedo was okay. Not his best. Good moments. Got a yellow card. He's a little bit like that. Enzo Fernandez, mixed bag. He certainly... I'm going to talk about the penalties in a sec. Don't worry, guys. He certainly divided opinion, but he completed a lot of long balls, 5 out of 6, which is pretty darn immaculate, and completed half his crosses. Good passing accuracy as well. Won 100% of his aerial duels, which is a 1 out of 1. But he also won 4 out of his 7 ground duels, so he's winning the majority of his ground duels. He had a good game, Enzo Fernandez. He did. He was frustrating. His touch betrayed him sometimes, but he did a few half-turn passes that were excellent. And like I said, a lot of long balls. Doing the Cesc Fabregas, that's kind of what we want out of him, and he's got that. He's good at that. He did that in this game. Romeo Lavia, my man of the match, ladies and gentlemen. 97% pass accuracy against Manchester City. He missed 1 pass. 38 out of 39 passes, and he was all action, baby girl. He did win 3 ground duels. He won 100% of his aerials. He only lost possession twice, which is very little compared to his other people, and completed 1 out of 1 long ball. He made a key pass, and a key pass is a creative, can be an assist sort of thing. And to make, as a midfielder playing quite functionally like him deep in the pitch, with, 4, sometimes 5 attackers in front of him, to make a key pass is great. Man of the match, Romeo Lavia, highlight of this game. Baby girl, how did Cole Palmer play? Well, he's obviously doing that, I'm playing against Man City, I just need to make things happen. Not his best game, probably not that fit, not optimally fit. Quite strong pass accuracy. He won some ground duels, less than 50% though. He was trying to get involved, but clearly is not up to his speed yet. Christopher Nkunku, you guys know me. I want to see him centrally, but he did complete 100% of his passes. That was only 24, but still 24 out of 24. No complaints there. Pretty strong. Yeah, he only won a third of his ground duels. But when he was passing, he's good, and he looked good. Like, no one's worried about Christopher Nkunku. He's a baller. Yeah, I just think he needs to play more centrally to be more offensively, just to contribute more offensively. Nico Jackson has heat maps all over the gaff. Don't know if that's a good or bad thing. His passes aren't great, probably the weakest in the team, but the striker is always the weakest in the team. Like, for example, Haaland. What's his pass accuracy? Yeah. Haaland's passing accuracy. Okay. All right, guys. So Nico Jackson, his pass accuracy is 71%. 71%. And all the rest of Chelsea players are like, 97, 87 plus. Even Lavia was 97%. But our lowest is our striker at 71%. Now, and he completed 10 passes. Haaland played the entire game, right? He played like 25 minutes, more than 25 minutes. He played half an hour more than Nicholas Jackson, okay? He played half an hour more than Nicholas Jackson and made 3 accurate passes. He tried 8, he only made 3 accurate passes. But no one gives absolute so-and-so because of that moment against Cucurella and how he just scores the goals. But yeah, he just doesn't play football. Haaland's he's just not there. He's just like, oh yeah, he might as well be having a drink on a little like table somewhere like near our goal, and every now and again like moonwalk on, just score a goal and then leave. He's not involved, bro. 3 passes. Imagine scoring a goal every 3 passes. Anyway, that's the difference there, and that's kind of player performances. Obviously, we saw Guy come on. Guy did what we expect, run around Harry, Kieran Disbury, who all played in that left channel, did a little bit. Renato Vega didn't really get enough time to analyse him. Pedro Neto completed 100% of his passes, even though only 16 obviously came later on. Yeah, we've yet to see what he does. Right, should we talk about the penalties then? Oh, well, the keyboard. Lots of people angry on my social media saying we should have had 2 penalties, and that was before the Kovacic handball. Here's the cold truth, guys. The cold, hard, upsetting truth. None of them were penalties, and I'll tell you why. Because the rules have changed. I mean, it's up to the FA or the Pugamal or whatever they're called to upkeep these rule changes, but going into the season, it was... The rules have changed, and this is what the situation is now. You can have much more stronger contact in the box without conceding a penalty, and that was absolutely the case. Like Enzo had a poor touch; he was sort of touched in the back and went down. There was another situation. Unless you get like properly fouled, contact's not going to get you a penalty anymore. And similarly with the Mateo Kovacic thing with the handball, that in the Euro last season and in the Euros you get 3 penalties for that, mate. Do you know what I mean? But you're not going to get that. Kovacic is looking at the ball, he's balancing, the ball hits his arm, and we've gone back to how the rules should be. You don't get a penalty for that. I'm a Chelsea fan. I would have really loved that. It would have been Cole Palmer. He would have scored another goal against Man City. We would have had an excellent result. Maybe draw 1-1, right? Okay. I would of course loved it, but I have to be honest, because I've heard them speak about this, like officials on like podcasts, like this is the rules now, and all right, keep that up. If we see that be given as a penalty later on, I'm coming for blood. But for the moment, probably no penalties. All right, guys, promising elements, but a sort of expected score in many ways. I'm feeling probably slightly more positive than negative because I was really worried how we would fare, and I feel like we look like a football team. Let me know what you think. We've got a whole season to develop, players to come in. Who knows? A striker maybe, Joao Felix, Pedro Neto to really settle in, Lavia to get better, and everyone to get fit. I'm feeling pretty good about it. And Reece James, that wasn't Malo Gusto's best game. Reece James is an effing good footballer. He's going to come back in. All right, guys, keep it locked. Our Chelsea news will return tomorrow morning. We got a lot to talk about. So thanks again. Love you very much, and goodbye.